Hi there, I'm Kesenya and welcome to this week's astrology weather forecast. Now you might think that the last couple of weeks has been the big powerhouse of energy change for this year, but it has been very influential. It's been a really exciting times. I don't know, you possibly have felt the changes, the shifts in momentum, the positivity increasing and the opportunities coming to you. It's been a really exciting time. But that doesn't mean that there's not some interesting things happening in the sky this week as well. We've got some very exciting energies playing out that will also impact us in various different ways. So we're going to look at three of these big energy impacts in this weather forecast. I won't go into them now, we'll go along and get into them, and we're going to look at the impact of one of these particular energies for all signs. So stick with me for that. But first, I'd love to say thank you. Thank you to all the beautiful people who joined me for my webinar, Will I Marry Again? The Astrology of Many Marriages, seeing whether you will have, or you're prone to having many marriages in your life. We had a great day last Friday joining together and learning all about that and talking to one another. It was really, really good. But just because you missed the webinar last Friday doesn't mean that you miss out entirely. If you would like to purchase the recorded version, it's available for purchase on Lada's website. I'll put a link below, and it's chock full of amazing information about your needs in relationship, what you need to feel happy in a relationship, and therefore what potential partners, you learn what a potential partner might also be needing so that you can fulfill their needs as well. I mean, that's what relationships are all about, isn't it? And then we go into the indicators of potential for many marriages and the various little bits and pieces. Sorry about the garbage trucks that you can hear in the back. Oh. The indicators for many marriages that we can see in the chart, and whether your chart carries the indications that you might divorce and remarry and divorce and remarry. And we look at that in the context of Liz Taylor's chart, actually. We can get a lot of insight from observing how that played out for her, and then we go into exploring her many marriages and how they were able to be seen through her astrology chart, and therefore you can then apply that idea to your own chart and see, where might I meet my future partners? What might they be like? What character traits might they have? What might be the challenges and the pitfalls and the blessings that this partner might potentially bring to me? So you can learn so much, and if you haven't had the chance to join or see that webinar yet, then by all means jump on Lada's webinar page and purchase that one. You haven't missed out. The boat has not sailed. So that's one thing I wanted to mention. Thank you also to the people who gave some fabulous feedback about that webinar. I really appreciated hearing your insights, what worked, what resonated, and what was powerful. And also, if you would like a reading about the potential, future partners that you may have, if it was just a bit too difficult for you to grasp, then I'm available to do readings in that regard. I love looking at that kind of stuff in the chart, seeing whether you have capacity for more than one marriage and where and when you may actually meet a partner. We can look at all that sort of thing in a reading if you would like. Now, speaking of great feedback, I have had so many responses this week saying that my predictive readings have come true. It's for them, and I love getting feedback. Not everybody gives astrologers feedback for various different reasons, busy lives and what have you. But this week I've had an influx of communication. There must have been something going on in my third house of communication, but I've had so many wonderful responses of people saying thank you for predicting this would happen for me, because this is exactly what unfolded. And one of the predictions that I just wanted to share with you, which made me kind of, laugh in one sense, but also wipe my brow in relief in another sense, was my friend Jane, who contacted me. She had been watching the recording of my last week's astrology video. And in it, I mentioned that if you had Sagittarius rising, that you would have Neptune in a certain part of your chart that might indicate be very, very careful of gas leaks in your house. And she'd been watching the video and taking notes and all that sort of thing. And then when the video ended, she got up and walked away from her computer, and she could smell gas in her house, and she actually had Sagittarius rising, and was alerted to the fact that there was a gas leak in her house. So luckily she was aware, and she knew that, thanks Neptune, that's what it had brought her, and she could deal with that problem. But quite well, amusing on one hand, and on the other a bit scary. So I'm really glad for my one of my clients, Jane, that she was able to sort out that problem with minimal fuss or danger to herself. So astrology really does work, and if you're after a predictive reading, I'm very happy to do that for you. We can look at what's coming up for you in the months ahead, or if you're after a solar return reading to look at what the year holds for you, we can also look at those sorts of things. I do love exploring the stars in that manner. But now on to what is happening in the skies this week. What is unfolding for us? Well, the first thing that is happening is on Thursday the 23rd, that's Australian time. We are going to have one of the biggest days occurring in the week ahead. Thursday the 23rd of November. We're going to have the full moon in Gemini, and I'll show you where that's falling. Here we have the sun up here in Sagittarius, and it will be opposing the moon down here in Gemini. That's what causes a full moon, for those who are new to this, when we have the sun and the moon in opposite signs at exactly opposite degrees, we get the full moon. And so this is a full moon in Gemini. Obviously, wherever the moon is where it's appearing at its fullest. So this will be in the sign of Gemini. Gemini is a beautiful, playful energy. It's fun, it's youthful, it's social. It's like a light breeze on a afternoon that comes through your lounge room window, and just it's refreshing, and it's lovely, and it's playful and joyful, and it's a gorgeous energy, Gemini. So we need to ask, with this full moon occurring here, do we have planets at the 3rd degree? Sorry, it's at 0 degrees, I believe, of Gemini, the 1st degree, which is a very powerful degree in the horoscope, in any sign. If we've got personal planets at 0 degrees, it's actually quite important. They're an important planet in our chart if we have something at 0 degrees. So if you have a planet here at this point, Venus, Mars, Mercury, the moon or the sun, any your ascendant, any personal indicators, then this is going to be an important full moon for you. I'm not going to go into all the different ways that might manifest, but if you do have a planet there, it's going to indicate fruition. The full moon is the fruition of the last 2 weeks' initiatives, the last 2 weeks' energies, the last 2 weeks' what's the word I'm looking for? Intentions that you may have set 2 weeks ago. You can see the fruition, and particularly in relation to the personal planet, if you've got one, that might fall there. Or if you don't have a personal planet there, ask yourself what house is being triggered by Gemini full moon in your chart. What house in whole sign astrology, which is the type of astrology I use, just to clarify, where each sign, Aries is 1st house, Taurus 2nd, so on and so on, each sign represents a full house. That's whole sign astrology. 101, very basic interpretation there. But what house does Gemini fall in for you in whole sign astrology? Well, for me, I'll give you an example. It's 4th house. Gemini is my 4th house, and therefore the full moon energy, the energy of manifestation, the moon is the most manifesting planet. The energy of manifestation for me is falling in the 4th house, and I am already feeling this as I prepare this recording a couple of days prior to the full moon. I'm already feeling this energy of empowerment in my home. The opportunity to work from home is increasing and manifesting for me, which is really lovely. Connections to my family are growing stronger and blossoming and being more full. So this is the energy that is happening in Gemini 4th house for me. So assess your chart. Where does Gemini fall? What house is it for you? And this will be the manifestation energy that is unfolding for you with this full moon. You might have Gemini might fall in your 6th house of work and daily routine. So you might feel like a blossoming into some sort of health routine. You're suddenly able to to do, go to the gym with more enthusiasm and joy, and then you see the benefits more. It manifests, it brings some fruition. And so going to the gym might be really good for you, or something at work that you're working on. Maybe you've got an opportunity to serve people in love. Service is seen from the 6th house in a really beautiful, full way that you've been, hoping to do. Maybe helping people is seen by the 6th house as well, or some sort of work routine, work project that's reaching its fullness, its fruition, we can also see from the 6th house. So that's just an example. There's 2 house examples there of what the full moon can be bringing us, depending on what sign it actually falls. Well, it's falling in Gemini, depending on what house is represented by that sign. Now, also on this date, we have what we call a T-square occurring, and this will be happening between Jupiter and the Sun, between the Moon, and between Mars, which is actually will be conjunct Fulmihalt, which is a fixed star in the sign of Pisces. So Mars will be up here at 4 degrees, conjunct Fulmihalt, the fixed star, and I'll explain more about Fulmihalt in just a minute. Jupiter and the Sun are here, and now they are not conjunct to the degree, but they're very close. We'll talk about their conjunction shortly. So we've got this opposition here with the Moon, and of course then Mars and Fulmihalt are making what we call a T-square to the like a square to the Moon, and Mars squaring Jupiter Sun. So you can see this is what a T-square shape looks like in the horoscope. We've got an opposition and 2 squares of 90 degrees separation there, and it makes this half chart, if you like, a triangle, which we call a T-square in astrology. So what does a T-square mean? What does that actually bring us? If we've got a T-square in our natal chart, or if we're experiencing a T-square by transit of planets in our chart and it's triggering things, or like this, simply in the upcoming week's energy, what's that going to mean? Well, a T-square can mean more challenges, but it can also mean potential for great success. And usually this is driven, especially in an inner, like in the natal chart, driven within yourself, an inner drive for, success that's driven by tension, maybe a certain resolve within you, and maybe, determination. So my son, actually, one of my sons has a T-square, and he is in his natal chart, and he is very enthusiastic. He'll pick up a guitar, he's very talented, picks it up and gets into it and is passionate about guitar for weeks and weeks and weeks on end. He's driven to improve, to better himself, to really refine his skills. There's this inner, like I said, inner resolve and determination to succeed with this in his natal chart. I compare that to my other son, who has a grand trine in his chart. My other son is a natural. He's one of those kids who doesn't need to practice to be good at things. Damn him. Very proud. But he has this grand trine, and the energy flows easy. Yep, he's a drummer. Picks up the sticks from the time he was 2 and could drum like a pro, like unbelievably talented, but couldn't care less. Yeah, you know what? I'm not going to practice. Yeah, don't really care. It just comes too easy for him, and this is the contrast between a T-square triangle and a grand trine. Grand trine manifests too easily, and sometimes, it just results in people who are really talented but can't be bothered doing anything with it, which is kind of like one of my sons. And compared to my other son, who has the T-square, he works hard. He's gifted, he's talented, perhaps not quite to the same extent as his grand trine brother, but he works so damn hard that he actually does better than his brother because of this inner drive, inner resolve, inner determination to use his gifts and to expand and grow his gifts. So it's actually, in many cases, better to have a T-square in your natal chart than it is to have a grand trine, contrary to what popular opinion might be on that. I can see that playing out in my children's lives on an almost daily basis. But it's also a very activating configuration, actually, this T-square. In Vedic astrology, it actually means that you are inclined to have more success on a material level. So this is wonderful, you know, because, and I've just given you the illustration of my sons, they're a perfect example, because you are driven, because you are, you know, enthused, you actually stand to have more success in life and material opportunities that come to you, opportunities, material wealth, you know, that sort of thing you can manifest because of the T-square energy. It's actually quite wonderful. And this is especially true for us in the upcoming week because the moon is involved. The moon is the most manifesting planet. The moon brings us things. I mean, anyone who's been through a pretty impactful eclipse can tell you the moon brings stuff into our lives. It brings events that are like, whoo, full on stuff. And of course, full moons are a lesser extent of that eclipse type energy. So the moon can bring change, and when it's involved in a T-square, it's going to be very manifesting of this type of resolve and energy and drive and determination that I've been talking about. And in fact, this T-square that we're looking at here is going to bring generally more energy all round. I mean, that's what a T-square does in the first place. It gives you drive and determination, like I said, but also we've got Jupiter Mars. Mars is energy, Mars is enthusiasm by nature, it is courage, it is like, let's go get them, let's start something new, let's begin this. And with Jupiter there making a square, it's expanding, it's growing that Mars enthusiasm, that Mars energy, that Mars drive. So it's a very, very energizing T-square, this particular one. So again, look at where all these planets are falling in your chart, and you're going to see what's going to be impacted. You know, you might have you know, Pisces might be your 10th house, and this is obviously the point. It's quite an important point, actually. The Mars in this. This will be where your energy is directed. This is where the drive will be happening. And if Pisces is your 10th house, well, you're going to be really driven about achieving something in the world, having some career achievements manifest for you, some career goals that really come to fruition. Because remember, fruition, it's a full moon that this is all part of, that's part of this configuration. So you might find that you know, you have a lot of energy to achieve your goals and a lot of manifestation coming from the moon around career that could occur for you if you have Pisces as the 10th house. Maybe if you had Pisces and it was your 5th house, you might have a lot of energy that you want to put into romance this week, and enthusiasm that gets you out and about to go meet people, maybe to, you know, meet new romantic partners. You might be enthused about that. You might be driven about doing that. And you might also have the moon you know, manifesting a new romantic partner in your life. It's actually quite a beneficial, you know, configuration to have. And of course, Fulmar, the star I mentioned before, is conjunct with Mars here. Fulmar, it gives creativity. It's a creative star, and spirituality. Especially it gives spiritual leadership. We can see by Fulmar involvement, particularly in the natal chart, conjunct an important point. If you have Fulmar at 4 degrees of Pisces conjunct your ascendant or the sun or the moon, or in an important with an important personal planet, you can actually manifest this creativity, this divine spirituality. Also, it can be connected to wealth and talents and gifts as well. So it's a beautiful star. It's a spiritual star, very angelic, like it can give an angel-like heart. So this is really lovely. Now, ordinarily, Mars is not the nature of Fulmar. They're kind of different in energy. Fulmar is, I believe, from memory, Mercury, Venus type energy. And so Mars is very different, but just the same, Fulmar can be, you know, toning down, if you like, and of course in Pisces this is happening as well, toning down the usual drive and bluster and you know, self-centeredness, if you like, of Mars. Mars is very, it's all about me. I'm going to achieve this, I'm going to accomplish this, I'm going to go get them, I'm enthusiastic. And sometimes, of course, Mars is violent. It's very passionate, it's very enthusiastic. And so when Mars is in Pisces, the energy can become a little bit more, I'm just going to flow, just going to go with what happens, and I'll put my energy there wherever the universe leads me. And you get a bit more of a flowy kind of feel to your Mars enthusiasm and energy when Mars is in Pisces. Your energy might, if you have it in the natal chart, actually, Mars in Pisces in the natal chart, your energy might taper off a little bit, and you might have sort of an on-off kind of approach to exercise, or, you know, just a bit more cruisy about, you know, taking care of your body and you know, doing energetic things. But here you've got the transiting Mars in Pisces, so that's the general flavor of Mars in Pisces. But when it's with former heart, as it is at the moment, this coming week, and then we can also experience kind of a double whammy energy of go with the flow, be spiritual, connect to the divine realms. Our energy can actually be put into these things. You know, we might put more energy into exploring our spirituality or our creative side, or expressing you know, our understanding of the divine realms through painting, through poetry. So there can be that sort of energy that plays out with the energy of Pisces. The energy of former heart can flow through the instrument, if you like, of Mars, which is passion, enthusiasm, and drive. So we have a more flowy passion, enthusiasm, and drive, and it expresses creatively, it expresses more spiritually in this coming week, and through this conjunction of Mars and former heart, which is, as I said, forming part of this highly manifesting, exciting T-square. So I'm just going to check my notes. Yeah, sorry about this. I want to ask, you know, where does Mars fall in your chart? Where is Mars former heart falling in your chart? I mean, if this was your chart, you would have Mars former heart falling in the 12th house. So extra emphasis, if it's in the 12th house, on divine creativity, divine spirituality, getting energy and being energized and enthused about perhaps healing, through maybe you enroll in a art therapy weekend, and you do a course exploring your inner psyche, your inner subconscious, through art therapy. This is the divine former heart creativity coming out in the 12th house of exploring the subconscious, and Mars gives you the drive and the impetus to actually go with that. So that is just one expression of how that energy may play out. So have a look, where does Mars former heart fall for you in the chart, and what might that be manifesting in terms of whole sign astrology for you? I'm sorry, I don't have time. I'd love to be able to go into what that means for all signs, but there's so much energy unfolding in every week astrologically that I can only really, for your sake and mine, focus on one particular component and what that is then manifesting for us in the week ahead. But as you can see, on this day, November 23rd, it's going to be a powerful day. Full moon, we've got T-square, Mars conjunct former heart. It's big energy. So we may have left the shifting of Jupiter into a new sign, and Venus going direct, and Mars changing signs. We've left all that energy behind us from the last 2 weeks, but there's still some pretty cool stuff playing out that's going to be powerful and impactful in our lives just the same. So if you want a reading about any of this, if this is concerning for you, or you look and you see, oh my goodness, I've got a personal planet here right on the full moon, what does that mean for me? Then by all means, I'd love to explore your chart with you. Let's do a reading together, and you can again have a look at the link below at what I can offer as far as my services go through Astrolada. So the second energy that we're looking at in the coming week is a fabulous day that's going to unfold for everybody on the planet. It'll be on the 26th of November. This is Monday in Australia and Sunday in some other parts of the world. But this is going to be the luckiest day of the year. It happens once a year, and roughly speaking, it happens in a different sign each consecutive year. So in 12 years time, it will return again to Sagittarius, where we've got Jupiter and the Sun conjunct at 3 degrees of Sagittarius. So just to reiterate that again in case it was confusing, Jupiter conjunct Sun is the luckiest day of the year. The Sun amplifies the prosperous, abundant energy of Jupiter many times. So we find Jupiter manifesting some exciting things when the Sun and Jupiter align together in the sky. It happens once a year, and Jupiter changes signs every year, roughly. And so, of course, as the sun travels around, it will conjunct once a year with Jupiter. And so it takes 12 years for Jupiter to go all the way around the horoscope. So in 12 years' time, it will be back there. And if you like, you can reflect, okay, 12 years ago when Jupiter was in Sagittarius, what happened for me? Was it a lucky year? Did something really unexpected and fabulous and out of the blue occur in my life? Because that's the year, 12 years ago, that you would have had the Sun conjunct Jupiter in a certain part of your chart. And we're going to actually look at Jupiter conjunct Sun for all signs this week. Now, as I said, this is in Sagittarius at 3 degrees of Sag. So this is an excellent sign for a start to have this lucky configuration happening, because Jupiter is in his own sign. Brilliant dignity, is very powerful. Jupiter is strong here. Jupiter is powerful here in Sagittarius. And the Sun is a fire planet in a fire sign. Sagittarius is a fire sign. So again, another planet that is strong and influential in excellent dignity in Sagittarius. So the energy here on this day is very positive, very powerful when we get the luckiest day of the year falling in Sagittarius. Now, what's also interesting is that 3 degrees is the degree of Gemini, and so a lot of the prosperity, a lot of the abundance, a lot of the Jupiter luck is going to fall in realms connected to Gemini, because it's happening at 3 degrees. Well, what does this mean? Gemini is connected to communications, so our communications are going to be blessed on this day. It's a great day to, talk with people, network with people, connect with people. So very good day for communication, for teaching as well. If you're wanting to set if you've got a seminar that you want to run, I mean, time's running out because it's happening pretty soon, but you could really put it on this day and your communication would really be blessed and would blossom and prosper from this lucky energy. So teaching, communication, any type of learning, if you want to jump online on this day and do some online learning, perhaps do my Astrology of Many Marriages webinar. It's a great day for being able to absorb information and to learn and grow through learning. This is very much Gemini. Advertising, if you want to run an advertising campaign on this day, do some social connection and networking, some sort of marketing, maybe even look at establishing a small business. That can be seen to be beneficial on this day as well, because Gemini is connected to small business ventures. So it could actually be a really great day, depending on what else is going on in your chart. You might like to get a reading from a good astrologer, such as myself, to be able to look at that. But this day, the 26th of November, can be very, very blessed, because it's falling at 3 degrees of Sagittarius, which is a degree connected with small business ventures. So it's a good day to launch a business venture in general, depending on what else is happening in your chart. But very, very prosperous for new business ventures and small business opportunities. Also, siblings are seen by Gemini, and this is obviously at the degree of Gemini. So relationships, networking with your siblings, if you network with your siblings, communicating with your siblings can be very much blessed on this day as well. If you've had a falling out with your siblings, it actually can be a really good day to reunite, to reconnect, and talk things out and sort things out with siblings who might have been estranged or that you've had, very little to do with. It's a really good day for reconnecting, because it's going to be supported by Jupiter Sun at 3 degrees. But let's have a look. Do you know where this energy of Jupiter conjunct Sun is falling in your chart? Well, we're going to go through the charts, all the signs now. And just to clarify, this is working with mainly your rising sign. But I would encourage you to also listen to the reading, what I'm going to share, regarding your sun and moon sign as well. You can interpret all three, and they are all important. In fact, in Vedic astrology, the moon is nearly more important than the rising sign. So, if you're into sun sign astrology, I don't think it's the most powerful determinant. But if you're into sun sign astrology, listen to where your sun sign is in this interpretation that I'm going to give. If you're Vedic, listen to your moon sign, and if you're like me, pay particular attention to your rising sign, because it's actually very important. Now, while I'm here, I might just give some astrology 101 on that, if you don't mind. The sun is in a sign for 30 days at a time. So it's therefore, you know, the opportunity you had to be born within that 30-day time frame was quite extensive. You know, 30 days is a long time. So therefore, it's not as important as some of the other placements in what we call the primal triad. Sun, moon, and ascendant is the foundation for who you are in astrology. The moon, however, here's our moon down here. The moon is in a sign for 2.5 days at a time. So this makes it a little bit more unique to you. You had a 2.5 day window when you could have been born with a moon in a particular sign. That makes your moon stronger than the sun, because the opportunity for you to be born at that particular time in life, so that you would have a particular configuration in your chart of sun in one sign, moon in another, there was a 2.5 day window when that could have been accomplished, when that manifested for you the way it did. So much more refined. And then to narrow it down even further, your rising sign on the day you were born changed every 2 hours. Rising signs change every 2 hours. So there was a 2-hour window when you could have been born on a particular day with Aries rising there, or whatever rising sign you have. So therefore it is the most important, because the opportunity for you to have that rising sign was such a small window. It makes it very pertinent to you, very unique to you, and gives you your most unique, most intricate, if you like, portion of your chart is always seen, in my astrological determination, by the ascendant rising sign. And that is why we always use rising signs when I'm going through all the signs, because it tells us the most. It is the most unique and pertinent to you as a human being, much more so than the sun. So that is why we always use rising signs. I hope that helps clarify things, and I hope it makes sense to people. So now let's have a look. Well, if you are Aries rising on this particular day, the luckiest day of the year, you have got this falling, this wonderful configuration, Sun, Jupiter falling in the luckiest house in the horoscope, which is the 9th house. So you can see some luck come your way with regard to higher learning, traveling overseas, or experiencing other cultures, even, you know, within your own town or city or something like that. You can experience other cultures, other belief systems, exploring other belief systems, and being with people of inspiration. So you might have a real blessing unfold in your life from some benefactor, some sort of father-like figure, someone you look up to, someone who you admire and respect, might give you I don't know, might offer to pay for some advertising for your newly established business on this day. Or you might have, somebody who says, look, I'm going to be traveling to this particular destination in order to do a course or whatever, and I've got a spare ticket. Do you want to come with me? Luck regarding travel can come your way. Luck regarding learning something, you know, higher elevated learning can occur for you. And luck can come from a benefactor or father figure for you on this special day. All right, let's move on swiftly, because there's so much to talk about. We've got Taurus rising, and Taurus rising is going to put Jupiter Sun in the 8th house. So you might have some luck and prosperity regarding money, other people's money. You might find out you inherit something. You might get left, even in community possessions are seen by the 8th house, communal properties. So, you know, you might have the chance to use some sort of communal property and have some real luck. Like you've been hoping to book a hall, you know, in your town to run an astrology seminar or a workshop. And you find out on this day, yes, you can use it, and you've got it for free. Wow, you know, luck can come your way regarding communal property, and also, you know, wills, inheritances, that sort of thing. Also, the 8th house is connected to hidden realms such as astrology. But, you know, if you're into aromatherapy or herbal remedies, maybe some sort of other occult practices like metaphysics, exploring metaphysics, then you might get some luck and good fortune come regarding some sort of hidden practices that you do. You know, maybe an opportunity opens up for you to establish a metaphysics practice at a local wellness center, and you get a little office space that you've been hanging out for becomes available. Again, that's communal property, a shared office space, and you could be practicing whatever hidden, wonderful, secretive things. Needn't be secret, but it's just things that aren't mainstream. They aren't readily recognized by our mainstream health system is one thing, or even non-mainstream spiritual things, and also crime and the underworld, prostitution, that sort of thing can also be seen by the 8th house. So you might have some luck in regard to resolving some sort of a criminal case. If you've been involved in something like that, you might have some good fortune regarding setting it to rest and maybe winning some sort of a case that you've been dealing with regarding criminal activity or something. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe you're a spy by occupation, and you might have some really good fortune regarding your spying activities. You discover a piece of information that's going to really put you on the map with your career in spying. I mean, spying is seen by the 8th house. So if you have an 8th house career, such as the health profession, the alternative health professions I've described, anything to do with the underworld, in criminal investigation, all that sort of stuff, you might have some real luck and good fortune on this day with uncovering some information or having something fall into place for you. So that's if you're Taurus rising. Now, if you're Gemini rising, this is going to put the lucky energy down into your 7th house. Yay, 7th house, partnerships, business collaborations, and marriage committed partnerships. So you can get really lucky with regard to your relationship with your spouse. You might, have opportunity. Oops, we're doing a bit of a walk there. You might have opportunity if you are Gemini rising to connect with, somebody in a committed way. Like you might a business partner might come into your life who gives you the opportunity to expand your business, and you collaborate, you unite, you combine businesses, and then it just explodes for you. The opportunities come out of the woodwork because you've collaborated with somebody in a business sense. Business partnerships are seen by the 7th house. So this can manifest for you on this day. You might also get the opportunity of good luck and good fortune regarding your marriage on this day. Maybe you've been trying to sort out some problems with your marriage, to iron out some wrinkles in your marriage, and on this day, just suddenly everything starts to fall into place. Everything blossoms. You wanted your husband to go to counseling with you, or you wanted your wife to be a bit more romantic with you, and on this day it all starts happening. You find that you get home from work and your wife has booked a fancy restaurant for dinner, and so you go out and you wine, you dine, you dance, you have fun, and your marriage is enhanced and blessed then. Or if your husband agrees, let's go sort out these problems, let's go to counseling. You go to counseling on this day, and my God, suddenly you feel that feeling again that you had for your husband in the very beginning, and it's rekindled that desire, that love, that passion that you had for your committed partnership, and you can regrow a partnership from the instigation of Sun Moon conjunction. Good luck in the 7th house for you. And remember, it's at 3 degrees, the degree of communication, good communication. So with regards to your marriage, you can have some really blessed communication and communicative experiences here. Okay, so Cancer rising, you're going to have this energy fall in the 6th house for you. So luck can come, blessing, abundance, blossoming can happen on this luckiest day of the year in the 6th house of health. So you might suddenly get, some good news, some results. You've had some tests done and you're a bit worried about what they're going to say. You get the test back and bonus, it's better than you expected, and you're fighting fit. So you can get some good news regarding health. Communication is, sharing good news. That can happen. You can also get an opportunity arise in your work life where your daily routines, what you do for a living to pay the bills. Suddenly you get a work opportunity that you've been hungering for, and it lands in your lap on this day, and it's like, wow, thank you. You get the opportunity to do some really big work, some big opportunity you've been looking for in your job that can come your way. Also, you might actually get the opportunity to serve more. Sixth house is service, connected to service and fixing problems. So you might find that you have the opportunity to really serve in a way you've been longing to. Maybe, I don't know, you might have always wanted to work with the Rotary Club in town, hosting, this is just an example, hosting, visiting people from other countries, you know, Rotary exchanges and that sort of thing, and you find out, yes, I can do this. They've accepted my application to host a visiting family or something for a Rotary exchange. So you get the opportunity to serve something that you've been looking forward to doing, something that you've been, you know, hoping for. And it's not going to be something that you're dreading, because this is a beautiful energy of lucky Jupiter Sun. So it's going to be an opportunity to serve in a way that you've been hoping for in the sixth house. Okay, so we've got Leo the lion, and the energy will therefore, lucky Leos, fall for you in the fifth house. So what I described before for the seventh house people, for Gemini rising people, was a bit of romance within your marriage. Now that can happen because that's what we all love to experience in life. We hate it when the romance dies. So in a marriage situation, that's going to be a blessing. Now in the fifth house, having love and romance is just a natural, it's a given, you know. It's not happening to restore a relationship that might have needed it. It's actually just part of the fun and the joy of living for you Leo rising people, this energy of Jupiter Sun. So you're going to have the opportunity to have more romance in your life, more love, more pleasure, more good times. Maybe connect with a romantic partner, maybe even meet a romantic partner that might manifest on this day. Maybe, you know, you'll have some more pleasurable experiences with your children if you're Leo rising, you know, playfulness, good times, fun, and lots of luck with regard to children. So your children might find that they've had some success and some luck on this day if you've got kids and you're a Leo rising person. So that's another benefit. Your children might be lucky and prosperous on this day. You also, with the fifth house, it's connected to self-expression and creativity, like the creativity that's all about, here I am, here's my offering to the world. I've written this book, I've written this song, I've published this story. Check it out. Here I am offering my creativity to the world. So you can get some luck around that. Maybe you get a publishing deal. Maybe your YouTube video hits 20,000 likes. Maybe your YouTube channel grows to be, hit 1,000 and you can start monetizing or something. So something that you're putting out into the world, your creative expression, your insights, you putting out there for the world, your baby, when you create something, it's like a baby and you put it out and hope it doesn't get judged by everybody. You put it out there, it can receive some sort of blessing and some sort of prosperity and abundance that comes from sharing your creativity and yourself, your divine creativity, or your self-expression, that's the word I'm looking for, on this day can be really, really blessed by Jupiter Sun conjunction. So lots of blessing for lucky Leos. Virgo people, Virgo rising, well, this is going to put this energy of Sag, Jupiter Sun conjunction in Sag, down in the fourth house. So what this then means is you're going to have lots of luck and prosperity and blossoming of this luckiest day of the year in fourth house things. So connection with family. You might be able to reconnect. You might actually enhance a relationship with a family member. You might, get together with family and celebrate maybe early Christmas or Thanksgiving or something like that, that you can connect with family if you're a Virgo rising. And there's something lucky and fortunate about that. Maybe even a family member has a lucky break, somebody in your family gets some sort of lucky reward that they've been hoping for, or lucky opportunity that falls in their lap. Now, it can also mean luck regarding home. So if you've been looking for a home, you might find that this is a great day to sign a contract for a new home. Because remember, when we start something new, we establish a new chart for whatever that is. So if we get married and sign a marriage contract, there is a chart for our marriage that is formed when that contract is signed. The same goes for if we buy a house. If you sign a contract for a house to purchase a property, fourth house is property, on this day, then the life that you live within this house or the way you use this property, it's going to be blessed by luck and good fortune. So it's a great day. I mean, I don't know what else is happening in Virgo rising people's charts, but certainly the signing of a contract and the setting up of a new chart for a Virgo rising person would give you a really great horoscope or a great chart that will indicate that how the life in this new home, the use of this new property is going to unfold for you and in blessed ways. So that's a blessed configuration. And indeed, there's nothing too untoward happening in the rest of the chart that might indicate for a Virgo rising person that it would be a challenge. In fact, for a Virgo rising person, they would have, if you signed a contract for a property on this day, you would have the majority of planets falling in the hemisphere of fate. And so this could be a very fated and predestined property purchase for you. So lots of blessing, you know, if you're somebody who likes to go with the flow and not be too controlling, this could work out to be a really fated, karmic, you know, divinely inspired property purchase. So that's what I would see with that. I mean, naturally, we need to look at each person's chart and where their natal planets fall in relation to all of this, but as a chart on its own, to establish something new, this is actually quite a healthy placement. And of course, this lucky energy would bless you if you did that. So that's what I see for Virgo rising people. It's actually not too bad. You might also choose to do some renovations on this day. That would be blessed as well for Virgo rising people. Anything to do with home, renovating, restyling, cleaning out your cupboards, all that sort of stuff, Virgo rising people can do really well from. Maybe even discover some, you know, $20 in a coat pocket at home. That's the kind of thing that could happen with Jupiter Sun conjunction. You discover something that's you know, in your home that you had been lost, and you know, there's a benefit there, there's a lucky windfall there. So lucky Virgos. Now we're up to lucky Leos. Everybody's lucky with this wonderful conjunction. Lucky Libras. Did I say Leos? I meant Libras. They're lucky too. And this will then fall in the third house for Libra rising sun or moon people. And of course, third house energy is a bit like what I described third degree energy to be. In fact, it's one and the same. So Libra people are going to have luck and good fortune on this day regarding advertising. It's a great day to put an advertising campaign together and start instigating it. It's a great day to do social media networking. You might find that you suddenly get, you know, 1,000 likes on a post that you put out there, and you're like, whoa, that was amazing, let's do that again. So you can have some really beneficial prosperity regarding social networking, social media. Advertising can result, some sort of advertising can result in really good results. You might actually, again, similar to the Leo energy, which is about putting something of your own creativity out there into the world that can be blessed. Similar to that, third house energy can mean, you know, results for some sort of communication that you're putting out into the world. So you might get a publishing deal. You might get some sort of, you know, small business opportunity that comes to you. Maybe you get a grant to establish a small business that you've been hoping for, and then you're on your way. Lucky windfall, and away you go with your grant that helps you establish a new business. You might get some kind of marketing, advertising, promotional windfall, you know, free advertising for a month on a certain platform or a certain website that you hadn't even been looking for, and there it lands in your lap. That's the kind of luck that can occur for people with this unfolding in the third house. And also luck with siblings. So, you know, you might you know, go out with your brother or your sister to the movies and win a free pass to you know, free book of 10 to the next 10 movies. So you know, you can have lots of fun and luck with your siblings, and receive some good fortune around that as well. By just being with your siblings can be very, very lucky on this wonderful day. So for Scorpio people, this is where so much energy has been over the last couple of months, and now the energy is shifting for Scorpio rising or moon or sun people. The energy is shifting, and now the focus is moving more towards this area of the chart. I feel like a weather girl. We're getting a lot more of an energy focus down here in Sagittarius and Capricorn for the next couple of months. So for Scorpio rising people, it's moved on from being first house, all about the self, all about survival, all about how you show up in the world. And now the energy for Scorpio rising people here is shifting to second house things. And then this is a great house to have the lucky configuration occurring of Jupiter Sun conjunction. So this is going to be happening in the house of resources, the things we need to support our body's journey through this lifetime. And we need shelter, we need food, we need clothing. They're just some of the things. We also need, I feel very strongly that we need pleasurable moments, or else what's the point of living if life is misery and downcast all the time? So pleasurable experiences can be seen by the second house as well. So you can definitely have lots of pleasurable experiences on this day, and you can also find some luck coming to you in terms of money, in terms of clothing, in terms of home and shelter and food. You might win a free dinner out. You might actually, you could get a free shopping gift voucher down at the local mall. You could actually end up, winning a new car if your planets are particularly aligned to bless you in that way. And in fact, Mercury rules cars, and Mercury's not too far from this connection as well. So you might actually find a bit of luck regarding your car, which is a possession that you need to support your journey in life in Western culture. So, lots of blessings on a material level for Scorpio rising people from this connection in the second house. You might winning things, maybe things fall in your favor. Maybe you wanted to book your car in for a car detailing, and you thought you were going to have to wait for a month, and then you find out, oh, it can get in today, hooray. So it can happen on many different levels. I'm not saying you're going to go out and win Tats Lotto here, but there can be many different manifestations. You could, like I described, get your car in for a service or a detailing that you've been hoping for, or you suddenly, somebody leaves a pile of wonderful, designer label clothes on your door because they've on your doorstep because they've just cleaned out their cupboards, and you end up with all this Chanel and Louis Vuitton kind of stuff, and you're like, woo, lucky me. So these sorts of things can manifest for you on this lovely special day for Scorpio rising people. Okay, Sagittarius, the luck of the first house here. Jupiter Sun connection in the first house. So you can be very lucky with anything relating to almost any of these realms represented by the houses. The first house kind of encompasses everything, because the first house represents our survival. It's got a mind of its own. There we are. I'll just hold it. The first house represents survival and how we can survive through life, and what we need to survive. It's about staying alive, and it's also about self-assertion, assertion of who we are, and being showing up in the world. And so for Sagittarius rising people, there can be luck about your basic survival. Maybe you could, it's very similar to second house, you could win something that helps you survive in life. That could be a home. You might win a new home or something like that. That's something that you need to survive. You might also find yourself in a really great opportunity where it's just your whole life direction takes a new trajectory because an opportunity's come to you. Maybe you get an opportunity to get a promotion and be like head of a company, or maybe you get an opportunity to start your own business again. These are all seen from other realms, other houses in the horoscope, but the first house encompasses everything. Anything that is about your journey in life and how you go through life will be seen from the first house. So this can happen. All of the signs that I'm talking about, all of the every other sign will manifest, has the potential to manifest also for Jupiter. So you might start a new business and be blessed by that. You might have some benefactor who leaves you something in their will on this day. You might have a career rise. You might, the options are endless. But first house is about how you move through this lifetime, how you survive, and of course all of these elements, 5th house, 10th house, 8th house, they all contribute to how you survive and go through this lifetime. And so if I was Sagittarius, I'd listen through all of these, knowing that any one of these things could manifest for me. So you're going to receive some blessings, some opportunity to blossom and grow in relation to your own journey through life. And you might find your whole direction in life is altered because of the blessing that comes on this day. And I would say it will happen from some form of communication, because it's happening at the 3rd degree. And so there'll be some sort of communication for Sagittarius rising people that changes their world, that changes their life, a job offer, a notification of being left something in someone's will, maybe an offer of publication, maybe a contract for a new house, anything regarding any type of communications and agreements and so forth that are written are going to be very beneficial for Sagittarius on this day. All right. Capricorn. We've got Capricorn rising. There we go. Placing this energy in, that's right now, in the 12th house. So lots of lucky karmic breaks can occur for Capricorn rising people. I mean, sometimes, well, most of the time, we're not aware of the karma that we carry from past lives, or even karma from our early childhood. But you can receive some sort of benefit that's a karmic result. So I don't know if you're familiar with the wonderful old Charles Dickens story, Great Expectations, but the young boy in Great Expectations offers a service and assistance to a criminal on the run. And many, many, many years later, he receives benefit from that criminal who's become a very, very wealthy man. And so there's karma that comes back to this now grown young man from a kind deed he did in his childhood. That's what we're talking about here. The lucky break, the benefit from some sort of a karmic result of a good deed we've done in the past. So you might see something coming back to you from some wonderful deed you did for someone, in your youth or your 20s, and the karma can unfold on this day. You might suddenly receive an opportunity or some money or something that you weren't expecting from as a result of some deed in a past life, some good deed in a past life, or in early childhood. Now, also the 12th house is connected to divine spirituality and divine creativity, so there can be some sort of luck with regard to divine creativity. You might get an opportunity to hold an art exhibition. Painting and art is seen by the 12th house. Also music, divinely inspired music. You might be able to, a fancy restaurant in town contacts you and says, hey, we'd love you to come and play at our restaurant on this special occasion that we're having, and you find you get a really great opportunity to utilize your divine talents, the talents that come divinely, divinely inspired music. A lot of people write music and it just moves people to their core, and it's because it's coming from the divine realms. They channel it almost. Same with a lot of art and poetry and filmmaking can be divinely inspired from the angelic realms. So you might get an opportunity regarding those sorts of things. Filmmaking is seen by, it's got a connection to the 12th house. So you might get an opportunity to have your film shown at a wonderful, short film festival or something like that. These opportunities can come to you that are lucky and out of the blue kind of, or even not out of the blue, to be honest, something you might have been working towards. I mean, Uranus is not involved in this. This configuration, so it doesn't have to be out of the blue. It can be luck and prosperity that comes from hard work as well, and comes from something you've been working on for a long time. So particularly over the last year, actually, since the Jupiter and Sun conjunction of last year, which occurred in Scorpio. So there can be luck and prosperity regarding any form of creativity that's divinely inspired, luck and prosperity regarding spirituality. If you work in a spiritual industry, or you offer spiritual services to people that are about channeling and connecting with divine realms, encouraging and supporting people in their belief systems, and helping people's wisdom in those areas to grow, you can receive, just getting comfortable on my seat, you can receive a lot of blessing and a lot of prosperity on this day, and abundance that helps your spiritual offering to grow and be blessed by the divine on this day. And also, of course, 12th house is connected to overseas travel. So you, on a very practical level, you might get the opportunity to travel overseas. Maybe you've been hoping you might get the chance to go to Lada's Bulgarian conference next year, and you find out, oh my God, I've got the money in the bank, I can actually do this, and I'm going to go and I'm going to participate, and it's going to be great. So you might get the opportunity to establish an overseas trip, and if you're going to be traveling overseas on this day, it's going to be a blessed time. You're going to have a wonderful time, and there'll be blessing that comes from traveling overseas. If you have the opportunity to be in another country, to be over the oceans on this day, if you're in Victoria or Australia and you travel to Tasmania and you can do that on this day, do it, because you'll be blessed if you are a Capricorn rising person. If you live in France and you want to go for a quick trip to England on this day, you'll be blessed by doing that, because obviously you're traveling over water overseas, and water is ruled by the 12th house. The oceans are ruled by the 12th house. So they're just a few ideas for Capricorn rising people to receive more blessing and manifestation on this day. Getting to the end now, Aquarius rising people, this is going to place the energy in your 11th house. So you can receive luck and prosperity through large groups of people. I mean, networking here is going to be really powerful for Aquarius rising people. So, connecting with large groups, internet as well. It's a great day to establish a website if that's something you've been thinking about doing. Establish a website, maybe a YouTube video channel or something like that, and you can find a lot of blessing. Remember, when we establish something, we set a new chart for it that describes what's going to unfold. If you having trouble with that, contact an astrologer like Lada or myself, and we can help you see, well, yeah, this is, if you sign on this day at this time, this is what might actually eventuate for you, and it will be good or it won't be good or whatever. But for Aquarius rising people, having this occur in the 11th house means that any internet-based business, any internet communications or networking are going to be blessed. So setting up a YouTube channel on this day for Aquarius rising people, a great idea, because you'll be able to reach many people, large groups of people, lots, the masses, through the internet. Also, connecting in a physical sense with people regarding ideas and visions and dreams and goals can also be very beneficial as well. So maybe attending a business networking opportunity is another really good thing to do. Maybe some sort of political activist movement, it would be really, really beneficial. You might find lucky connections there and some blessing that unfolds as well. And of course, the 11th house is an upachaya house, which means it gets better with age. So, if you're, I don't know, let's say over 35, 36, you might find that the opportunity for rewards and gains from this placement is just, kaboom, like fabulous. So, you might find, something you've been dreaming of and have been working towards for a long period of time might actually manifest for you on this day. Some sort of vision or goal you've had, some dream that you've been clinging to, and you get blessed. Or even if you're just starting out with a new dream or a new vision or goal, you might find that it gets some momentum on this day that's lucky, that's blessed. So, you might have somebody contact you from a group that says, hey, come and speak. Just say you're wanting to start an astrology business, and you might have somebody who contacts you and say, hey, come and talk to this group of people at this high tea. They want to understand their charts. Come and tell them all about it. And you get this opportunity to establish a connection and do some networking with a group of people. That's one way. And you then also working towards your dream or your goal. Or it might be anything really, like, you might you might have a vision to to start a charitable foundation, and you get an opportunity to talk about it on the radio. You know, the local radio station rings up and says, hey, come and talk to us about your charity and what you're working towards and what you want to achieve here. And so you go on the radio and you're talking to the masses on the radio and reaching many people regarding your dream, your hope, your vision to establish this charitable organization. So these are some of the ways that for Aquarius rising people we can see beautiful manifestation, lucky opportunities come your way to help you grow these 11th house things. Okay, Pisces, this is putting... Go Pisces. Yay, I'm Pisces. This is great. We can see luck manifesting for us in terms of our worldly achievements, in terms of our career, in terms of the things that, you know, relationships with authority figures can also be seen here as well. So some examples might be you suddenly, and I'd love this to happen, you get heaps of likes on your YouTube video, and then lots of people booking in for readings. This is one of the ways that this Pisces career energy could manifest for someone like me. But also, you know, it can just mean a project comes your way. You've been hoping that you'd get this project at work because it just suits you down to the ground, and you know you can do a fabulous job with it, and then this day rocks around and you get it. You get the contract, you get the opportunity, and it's going to really put you on the map regarding you know, whatever it is, what career realm that you work in. And being Sagittarius, it could be anything to do with freedom or liberation, it could be anything to do with travel or higher learning. Maybe you've always aspired to be some sort of a teacher, some sort of a, you know, professor type person, and you get the promotion on this day. Yes, you're going to be able to be that have that authority figure placement that you've always aspired to, and be recognized in the world for your achievements. So all these things can manifest for Pisces on this day. They might receive more worldly accolades and worldly achievement. They might be recognized for the job that they've done and given the appropriate you know, kudos for what they've done. They might get a new opportunity and a promotion on this day. They might be able to connect with an authority figure that helps lift them up and gives them some sort of blessing or reward or prosperity or abundance. So the boss might give you a raise, or you know, you might get, like I said before, the promotion that you've been always looking for. There's many ways this can play out for Pisces people, but it's going to be in connection to your worldly achievements, what you do that's visible in the world, that's out there for everyone to see, and what you do regarding career and career opportunities. So lots of blessing can manifest if you're Pisces rising in those realms. And of course, abundance and growth, it's just going to keep on going from here for Pisces people in career. They've got, and I say this because Jupiter is the lord of their sign in traditional astrology, and the lord of their sign in traditional astrology is sitting in the 10th house. So we've got a year of this kind of energy unfolding for we Pisces rising people. So lots of power and manifestation in the 10th house for Pisces rising people over the year to come. So that is the energy throughout the signs for this luckiest day of the year that we love to see roll around. So make a note, see what unfolds, and do share with us in the comments what's happening. But there is one more energy that we now need to look at that we can also look forward to, that's unfolding a little later in the week. And now we arrive at a really interesting day. This is Tuesday the 27th in Australia, and the Monday everywhere else in the world. But some parts of the world on this day, not where I live, but there are going to be some parts of the world that are going to receive a very interesting energy day, because on this day they're going to have two shapes that eventuate and unfold for them. And the first one is another T square, and this is going to occur between Venus here at 27 degrees of Libra, and it's going to make an opposition down to Aries, down there. And then we have, so Aries is at 29 degrees, Libra is at 27, and then the moon is going to be conjunct the North Node, there with the North Node, down here in Cancer. the latter degrees of Cancer, like 28, 29 degrees. And of course, this is making funny looking T-square again, and we talked about the T-square energy at the beginning of this forecast. So big energy, again, lots of challenges, but opportunity to manifest something. And of course, the moon, the manifesting planet, is involved again and is kind of the peak, conjunct with the North Node, so we can see a rise into our destiny on this day, some sort of fortuitous destiny-based opportunity that comes. But then a little bit later on in this day, for some people in some parts of the world, where I live in Australia, this will happen on the 27th, and then the moon will move on, and by the next day, the 28th, it will be here. But depending on where you are in the world, you can actually have this figure unfolding, and then a little later in the day, this next one that I'm going to talk about, which will be a yod between Mars and Saturn and the moon. So we've got kind of the moon pulling out a double whammy energy on this day. So I hope you can see this on my wheel here. We've got, firstly, unfolding is the T-square. We talked about that energy in the beginning, and the same kind of thing, manifestation, particularly regarding wherever Cancer falls in your chart. And then we have a little later in the day, we've got this yod energy unfolding that involves the moon as well. Now, a yod configuration can bring manifestation. This is particularly true because the moon's involved here. It brings manifestation after the resolution of some difficulties and challenges. And these might be difficulties and challenges brought up at the beginning of the day by this, the T-square. But the results of this are going to mean success in the house represented by Leo in your chart. So the energy of a yod is that it brings manifestation regarding this point of the yod, the needle, the point of the needle they call it. It brings manifestation after the resolution of some challenges or difficulties. So what might happen on this day? You might begin with a bit of a challenge, a bit of confrontation, if you like, or a bit of sort of hard energy that you need to work through and overcome. And then as the day progresses, you receive some sort of great manifestation, some exciting manifestation for you in the house represented by Leo. And if you've got any personal planets conjunct these points, big time. And part of it is involved with rising into your destiny, as seen by the North Node here in Cancer. So what does Leo represent in your chart in whole sign astrology? What house is Leo for you in your chart? What challenges might Cancer present in your chart? What house is Cancer in your natal chart, and what challenges might come from that house? So I'll give you an example. I'll use my own Cancer and Leo. Cancer for me is connected to fifth house things. So there might be challenges for me on this day in expressing my creativity or receiving some kind of support from my creativity. There might be challenges regarding my children on this day. Children is a fifth house thing. This is when you've got, this is what this chart is, Pisces rising makes Cancer your fifth house. So there can be challenges regarding my children. There might be challenges regarding, and it's nothing drastic, it just might mean they're really argumentative on this day, or I want to launch a video on my YouTube channel and the damn thing won't load, so it can be challenges regarding expressing your creativity. Your children, maybe you jump online and join an internet dating site because you want a bit of romance in your life, and there's just nobody out there. Well, that can be a challenge. There's no one you want to connect with. So some challenges regarding fifth house things can occur that you need to resolve, that you need to overcome. So the kids are fighting a lot, and you're like, right, time out. You go here to your room, you go to your room, and you stay out here in the lounge room and have some time away from each other and sort out your differences. It can be a challenge as simple as that. And then as the moon moves on and gets to this yod shape, what can manifest, and for me, Leo is the sixth house, is some sort of manifestation after dealing with, say, that challenge with my kids. Some sort of manifestation occurs where we're all in a better place. We're all like mentally healthier. You know, they've had some time out, and we all get back together and have dinner together, and you know, eating, looking after our body is fifth house. And we all say, right, okay, let's all go for a bike ride together tonight. Let's go down to the park and have a play, and you reconnect and you do something that's good for your well-being. Sixth house is well-being, health. We go out for a swim together or something like that, or maybe you know, you're able to you have a challenge with your creativity and your creative expression. There's a blockage there, something's not working right, your YouTube is playing up again and you can't load the thing, and then by the time this yacht appears, there's some manifestation where, oh, bang, away, the internet suddenly rights itself. We've got crap internet in Australia, and the internet suddenly gets its mojo happening, and away you go, and your whole sixth house of work and what you do for a living and how you pay the bills and daily routines suddenly gets some manifestation that occurs. So I hope you're following me with this energy. A challenge in Cancer that can result, you know, or wind up with some sort of manifestation in Leo. So you need to know your whole signs, and you need to know what the houses represent to be able to figure out what this might be bringing you in your house, or in your chart, I should say, on this day. If you want some help, order a reading. That's what we're here for, to help people navigate and understand their lives through astrology. So that's what a good astrologer brings. They offer some guidance in that realm. So if I can be of assistance, you know, I'd love to serve you in that way. So thanks so much for listening and tuning in with me for this forecast for the coming week. I do hope the energy is kind to you and that lots of blessing and manifestation and blossoming flows your way. And I'd like to finish by thanking the universe, if that's fine with you. Thank you so much, God of love, for the way the energy flows so beautifully. Help us to manifest at a high level this week so that we receive the blessing, we receive the support, we receive the encouragement of the universe, because we know that you have our back and you desire our highest good no matter what comes. So give us wisdom to know how to use this energy and to feel this energy and connect with it in healthy, beautiful ways that are for our highest good. And so it is. Thank you, and I'll see you next week.